You're listening to Casual Alterations, a podcast by and for fans of Altered TCG. Here's your hosts, Kari and Ian.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
This is so embarrassing. I know
Da
this.
da 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 da.
I don't know.
It's Jim Croce.
Oh, is it Time in a Bottle?
Yep.
Okay, I got it. Time in a Bottle. Totally knew that the whole time. It's only one of the songs I've heard the most times for the longest of my life.
Well, you didn't hear my version of
No,
it,
that's
so that's
true.
probably what caused all of the problems.
Yeah, it's really different without the guitar. You really need that acoustic guitar backup to really... Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome.
Bonjour, hello, welcome to Casual Alterations Podcast. This is the least professional and the longest Casual Alterations podcast. We haven't even started and we're already rambling.
We already went a little over on time with the guess the tune bit at the beginning even. This is a podcast where we talk about Altered and why we love it. I am Kari, the Tokens Lady.
I'm Ian, the Token Husband, and today we're going to talk about new reveals. This time, though, reveals of what the second year of Altered is going to be about.
Yeah, we're not talking about specific cards today. Instead, we're talking about the future.
And the announcement that was made just earlier today.
Yes, today. Yes. But first, we want to remind you that this podcast is brought to you by you, Blue and Eric, for supporting us on patreon.com. And also those of you who support us by buying our products on Etsy or makeplayingcards.com. And those of you who are just out there listening and following along with what we say, there's like tens of you, and we appreciate you all.
You can follow us on Blue Sky, where this week we have had lots and lots of posts, and I hope that you followed along. The Professor Wimbleshade stories, Mythmander stories, those will continue until they are finished, so those should continue for a while. And then after that, we've got some wonderful little pieces too. Those Blue Sky tweets or skites or whatever you want to call them.
I think they call them skeets.
Skeets.
I call them posts because skeet just sounds silly. I just can't make myself do it.
Those will all be coming to you for the next few months. So be watchful of those. And as always, follow us on any one of the social media platforms that you care to follow. But today specifically, we're going to talk about that announcement. And rather than get into the thing that everybody's been talking about, I want to spend a few moments talking about the thing that nobody has talked about yet on this announcement. That is that art that is on the very top of the announcement that showed up today in the news from the Altered website. That wonderful piece of art where you look at it and it is buildings in the sky with some kind of paths around it and everything. And you don't really realize it until you actually dig in there and zoom in. There are people there. They are very, very small. These are huge buildings. Like, where is this? Is this in Enosha with the flying peninsulas and all of the flying material? Or is this a part of Skybound Odyssey?
I think if you look closely, you will see this is clearly the Jetsons city.
Did you see
the flying cars in the...
Did you see George down there someplace?
They're actually, okay, now that I zoom in again on this, it's actually a fish. It's like a little Zeppelin hot air balloon, but it's shaped like a fish. That is great. I love that. That's so much cooler than the Jetsons.
Yeah, this is probably also something that must be coming up in the next year, I would imagine, as a little teaser for what we might see in the future. But this is just amazing. Whatever this is, wherever this land is, I want to spend a vacation here. Can we spend like 3 weeks here, just this coming fall?
That seems great. I don't know if it's in our budget, though. I imagine the transportation cost just to get there would be well out of our control. Now that we've talked about the most exciting thing about this announcement, which is this new piece of art we've never seen before, let's talk about the second most important and exciting thing in this entire announcement, and that is Woollyback plushies.
What about Woollyback plushies?
That's it. That's the whole thing. At the very end of the announcement, it says players can expect big announcements ahead. Product innovations, exciting new rarities, fresh cards, updated packs, box toppers, exclusive items, and in parentheses, Woolly Woolly, ? More collaborations with Board Game Arena, fan contests, giveaways, and major digital improvements coming very soon. There it is. It's in parentheses, but it's still the most important thing you need to know. Woolybacks.
The Woollyback plushies are coming.
They're coming. It's confirmed.
For me, when I unpack that last paragraph, there's two things specifically that come to my mind. The addressing of the BGA issues with more collaborations and other digital improvements, those are needed. The events that were happening in the past 3 weeks, including the one that's coming, Asian World Championship Qualifier, they have had issues.
But just to clarify, the Asian qualifier is so named because of the time they set it. Anybody can participate in that. If thinking about doing a world championship qualifier, this is the one, folks. It's at 7 p.m. in our time zone on Friday, so it's not too late. There's only a few hundred people signed up for it, and they have room for 1,000 or 2,000 people. If you were thinking about doing it, now's the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Get on the Discord. Find the AWL Discord. That's where you'll find the link if you want to get involved. It is a good thing to hear that they are planning to make additional improvements to the BGA and digital atmosphere. I think everyone will agree. If you're playing digitally, you want to see that.
Yes, there are definitely improvements that can be made. There are features that could be added. Hopefully that's something that they could be looking into. Of course, there are not a lot of details in this article. More information will be coming in October. This is just sort of a teaser to let people know that changes are coming.
Well, and I think the other thing that they're teasing in this paragraph too is rarity changes. When you think about rarity changes and it relates to Alter, you can look at other card games and you realize there are 3 types of cards that Alter does not have. The first one is uncommons. And I think if you put uncommons, you change the way decks are built. You change the way everything goes through the game. I don't think you can really add uncommons to sets after you've already started with 3 additionals, your first 3 sets. You can't just suddenly on set 4 start putting in uncommon.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It warps the entire game to suddenly have uncommons as rarity.
So the second thing that we might see is box toppers. They actually mention this in the article. A box topper would be some kind of super unique card that would either a callback to a previous set with a special art or something from the set with additional art, probably of a unique rarity. I don't think that's the way most people who play Altered would like to see the game, but it is a card that would be a collector's item and therefore possibly be something that they're looking at.
Yes, I would love to see some alt art versions of cards.
But I think the third item, which is in almost every other card game, it's not in Magic, but it's in a lot of card games, is something like a super rare. It's a card that is similar to what you already see. The qualities of the card are exactly the same as every other card that is the same card, but just reskinned with a different name. A super rare is more common in things like Yu-Gi-Oh! These types of cards get an additional rare in your pack. So you get 4 rares. The 4th rare would be the super rare or your unique card. So if you didn't get a unique, you still get something from it that would be super cool, but you would reduce one of your commons in the packs for this other card, which I think everybody would be happy about.
I mean, everybody, I'm sure, would really love to just see a unique in every pack, but that's not realistic. I think that makes some sense. Going back to the beginning of the announcement, probably the biggest point, starting with Set 5, Altered will be distributed through pre-order campaigns on GameFound, because they will no longer be partnering with Asmodee. This comes with many advantages for everyone. No set will ever be reprinted once a campaign ends because every card printed exists because someone wanted it. Hello, kitty.
The important thing to take away here is the no reprints, which is kind of a misnomer. It's a miscommunication. They are trying to make it sound like these are individual cards. We all know from the way the print on demand and the marketplace works. There are going to be cards in there if you want them, and you will be able to buy them there and print them on your own demand. Whether or not you need 12 copies of Acrylana Milk and you only have 3 digital copies is not a point here that it's brought up. But I think that's the truth of the matter, that most people will have more printed copies of the cards than in their digital.
Some people might be alarmed when they see no reprinting and think, oh, does this mean POD is going away? No, print on demand is not going away. What they mean is we're not going to have 87,000 extra boxes of product sitting in a warehouse somewhere because they printed too much and nobody wanted it. They're going to print what people want, and then they're going to make another set after that. We don't need to worry about the market being flooded by all this extra product that nobody wanted in the first place. And then it goes on to say, in addition to addressing margins and profits, stores will also have access to exclusive packs as well as organized play kits designed to bring Altered to life in store. So they are not abandoning stores with this new model. They're just changing who's distributing the product to those stores.
And it's very important that you read very carefully. They'll have access to exclusive packs. That means there'll be packs sold just in the store. So there'll be a Game Found pack and a store pack. This is not any different than set 1. And I think this is just pushing back on what we saw in set 1 and just emphasizing this is how we're going to do it. Whether those exclusive packs are actually built like the Game Found packs or not, we don't know, but I have a feeling they will be similar, and they may actually include some of those additional cards that we were talking about just a few minutes ago, those super rares or box top that will be available only through the LGSs, in order to encourage people to buy through the LGSs and also reinvest in all those LGSs they've lost faith to when the marketplace and POD really took away their market.
Yeah, I think the box toppers in other games, the only way to get a box topper was to get it from your store. That is the perfect place for the box toppers. We know they're talking about doing box toppers, so of course that would be something that could be exclusive to a store. That makes a lot of sense.
A question that has come up on the Discord about the distribution model for Altered. Currently, the distribution model is not any different than any traditional collectible card game. Some warehouse has all the product, ships it to the LGSs who have purchased it, and the LGSs then sell it to you. What we're going to start seeing, though, is an additional distribution model that's similar to Keyforge or Netrunner, where you can buy what you want from Equinox distributor through Game Found. It's an additional way to release products, and I think that is actually better for everyone all around. I know the LGSs will be slightly upset because they did see how they lost some money in Beyond the Gates, but I think that they will see that their unique exclusive packs will be a driver of sales that is not unlike what they're currently getting, where everybody can get the same packs.
I guess I can't speak for everyone in the world, but I'm sure for us, we'll back the Game Found, but we're still going to want to buy product from our LGS. We will go to our LGS and we will get product from them as well. So it's not going to take away from their sales. And the thing about the Game Found is, once the pre-order campaign is over, the average citizen will not be able to order again. So where are they going to have to go? They'll have to go to the LGS because the LGS has the product.
Yeah, and they don't say anything about the exclusive packs being limited. So it's very possible that those exclusive packs could be around as long as the LGSs want. We often talk about art and lore. So we are often on a very positive note when we come into these things. Obviously, we're going to have a positive note about this. I think the first big thing is going straight to the consumer creates a better situation for all of the individuals in small markets where there are little gameplay being played, that fourth tier group that has little store support, few markets, to get cards easily.
Yes, I know a lot of people have said recently in the Discord how frustrating it is to them. They don't have a game store anywhere near them that sells this product, so they have no way of getting it apart from buying singles, which they then have to print on demand and wait for it to come to them. They would love to be able to just buy product. This is the way.
And I think initially there is some fear in some of those individuals. We actually talked to someone today that was afraid that they're going to lose the LGS. And honestly, what Equinox is doing here is giving you a chance for you, those individuals in small market, to actually keep contributing and keep building your love of the game.
If you don't have a place where you can go and play, then you can buy your product through the GameFound. If you do have a place that you can go and play that supports the game and supports you as a player, you can buy your product from them. And with the Kickstarter, retailers were able to purchase the product directly from Equinox rather than going through the Kickstarter. I'm sure it will be a similar model. It will be a similar model because retailers will not be required to back it on GameFound like the regular players will. They'll purchase what they want through Equinox directly.
I think it also improves marketplace vitality. There's going to be a flux of cards that come in very early to a set's release that are these game found cards. And I think initially it will push sales on marketplace. But if you remember, and if you look back at those Kickstarter cards right now, they are actually priced lower in the marketplace than the Beyond the Gates cards that came from the game stores.
Yep, which is actually very interesting to me because I had thought that people would be more interested in the Kickstarter product because it's a, exclusive collector item or whatever, but it seems like the opposite. People just want the regular retail product.
And the boxes actually sell for more than the BTG stuff.
The boxes sell for more because there's a better chance for uniques in it, and they all know it. But they don't care about the commons and rares. So.
I think this is a great thing for Equinox too. This is another way for them to get money directly from the consumer without going through a distributor. It's more money in their pocket, which will allow the game to thrive.
More money to Equinox means more money to drive those improvements that everybody is hoping for in future product and the technological advancements that they're still working on.
And it actually makes the game more permanently viable because as long as they continue to do releases through GameFound, that means you will always have a product. Just like Nisei and Netrunner, just like Keyforge, you have an area where you can buy the cards. If you continue to love the game, you can continue to play it because there will be more releases.
Yeah, another point about this, using GameFound rather than Asmodee, means that we won't be overprinting the product, which means if you do have extra commons and rares to sell, those commons and rares are likely to be more valuable on the marketplace now than the ones that we're currently seeing. Because there are so many of the commons and rares that are extra, everything is cheap on the marketplace. So if you're looking to resell your product after you're done with it, you're likely to get a better return on your money from the GameFound product. I think out of all of these things, the thing that I'm seeing most people say is concern about the stores, whether the stores are still going to be able to sell the product, put it on their shelves. Of course they will. Equinox is still prioritizing stores just as they always did because they believe that in-person play is fundamental to the support of this game. They want the stores to support it. They want to support the stores in selling it. Stores will not be required to go through the GameFound. They will order directly from Equinox just like they did with the Kickstarter. You buy the product that you think you can sell, and you have access to exclusive items that regular consumers can't buy, and that's going to encourage people to come to your stores and buy the product. Stores will have the ability to order a la carte for products where maybe regular consumers wouldn't be able to. If you want to get, 27 booster boxes, that's a thing you can do as a store, but as a consumer probably you're going to have to order, what did they have, like the Divine bundle, and they were bundles that were preset, and then there was some add-on items that you could get in addition to that. But maybe you only want 3 boxes, but the bundle has 4, so you got to buy the 4th box. Or you could just buy it through your LGS because they're going to have however many you need. And my hope would be that local game stores will have the ability to take pre-orders from their customers to add to their own order from Equinox directly, so they can make sure that their customers get the product they want if the customer doesn't want to back through the GameFound themselves. So either way, if you have a game store that you can order through, you should do that. Absolutely. Support them. Show them that you love the product. Show them that you want them to continue to carry this game.
Host events.
And host events. If you don't have a local game store, you still have a way to get your hands on this product. I think that's awesome.
So there are some complaints that we've seen on Discord, some concerns about different things. I think one of the first one that comes up is, how does this affect organized play? Well, if you follow our model and what we're expecting to see from Equinox, organized play is just going to get better because there's going to be more exclusive products that those LGSs are going to get. They're going to get them straight from Equinox. There's not going to be a delay because Equinox will ship them their huge box of stuff at the beginning of the set, and they'll get all of that stuff that they need all at once. They won't have to wait for Osmody to send them 3 boxes and get the tumults 6 weeks after the tumults actually take place.
This way they can make sure they have everything in hand before they need it, and they don't need to worry about whether or not they can even get it. So another possible pain point is a question, because this is all pre-order based, what about game stores and players who discover the game in the middle of a set? Do they just have to wait until the next one? Did they lose their chance to pick up product from this current set? My thought is they'll be able to get the product they need from Equinox directly. Players who discover the game mid-set, I think, will still be able to get their product from game stores. It's possible that game stores might be sold out of product, but I think at this point, after 3 sets, the game store probably has a general idea of how much product they need to have and how much they're likely to sell before the next set comes out, and they'll just make sure to order everything that they need. So hopefully, players will still be able to pick up product at a local game store.
And don't forget about the important part of print on demand and the marketplace. There are videos out there on YouTube of individuals who come into the game late and talking about how much money that they spent to pick up those old cards that they didn't have. And right now, most of those old cards are nickel a piece. So it's very easy to get them, and it would be a minimal investment to have them, especially when you're looking at players like us who have such a glut of cards that if a new person started playing, we would just encourage them to go out and buy 3 of everything, and then we'll find the cards for them to fill up their sets.
Buy your digital cards. We'll give you a stack of printed cards. We've got so many. Call us. I don't know how they will address the issue if there's a local game store that wants to pick up product that didn't get in on the pre-order. Will they be able to order in the middle of the set? Is Equinox still going to have some stock around to help supply those stores? I don't know. I'm sure some of those questions will be answered later in October when the full announcement comes out.
While we are concerned about it, there is a likelihood that Equinox will print more than what is needed. And I do think that the stores and that exclusive product will be something that still could be purchased from Equinox in the future. It's not like they can't print more.
Yeah, I would hope. We don't know, but that is the hope.
So the last thing that actually comes up is, does this end any kind of limited play? Is constructed now your only option? If GameFound was the only option, it would probably really put a damper on any kind of limited play permanently. But I really do think that they are going to support the LGSs with a set of product, with an exclusive product that's going to go to them alone, that will still be a playable product in limited environments. Yes, constructed will still be the major way people play the game currently, until maybe some other multiplayer version of the game comes around. Hint, hint, stay tuned. But at this point, I can't see a situation where the LGSs would not get product to be able to continue to support a limited environment.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Limited play is not a big thing most anywhere. As much as we would love it to be, we don't see regular weekly drafts of Altered anywhere near us. I don't know what it's like where you live. If you have weekly limited play where you live, please let us know so that we can start house shopping and move to your city. Seriously though, it's just not something that we see happening that often. I don't know how much this change is going to affect that as a format.
Yeah, I think the whole concept of a ground fund campaign, having these boxes available to the consumer immediately, that just encourages crack packing. That just encourages pack cracking.
Sorry.
And when you crack packs, you're not playing limited unless you're playing against your spouse. who also happens to be cracking 7 packs at the same time.
Yeah, that, you know what, that's a good point. In order to encourage everyone else to love limited play as much as I do, I would encourage you, if you have a box that you need to crack open, don't just crack those packs. Grab a friend and play some sealed. That's the correct way to crack packs. I'm sure there's probably questions or concerns that people have that we haven't covered.
If you have more questions, I encourage you to get on the Discord, the general Discord for Altered. There are lots of discussions going on about these ideas, and we encourage you to take a look at them. And if you do have any feedback, put it in the little comments section, because we'd love to be able to read a few comments from people and respond to them if there are any that show up.
Yeah, or message us on Blue Sky, or send us a paper herald folded in the shape of a dog.
And that's going to do it for this episode, this additional episode this week. You probably will notice that you're not going to get anything on Friday or Sunday or Monday this week, but you will get the wonderful Mythmander, Professor Wimbleshade stories. Those will continue to come in your inbox. So watch out for those, look out for those, and watch all those wonderful spoiler cards that are getting here. But let's just keep our fingers crossed. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Bye-bye.
This has been Casual Alterations Podcast. For more information, please visit us at casualalterations.wordpress.com.